I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, any additions or deletions to the agenda?
None.
No, sir.
Actually, Commissioners, if I could direct your attention, and this was a mistake on mine, I just didn't get it in under the wire. If we can add item number 13 under the consent agenda.
Absolutely.
And it will be entitled The Reconstituting of the Allegany County Commission for Women.
Without objection. Is there a motion to approve minutes from the last public business meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, moving to our presentations tonight. Item number 1 is Allegany County Day of Civility Proclamation. We have our own Amy Williams is here. Please, come on up.
Good evening, Commissioners, Mr. Butler, members of the public. As a member of the Leadership Allegany class of 2018, our class project was to help the Allegany County Library boost the newly formed Choose Civility chapter of Allegany County. I'm proud to say our class commitment was successful, and the Choose Civility chapter is blossoming into an active, meaningful, and vital initiative in this day and age. I'd like to introduce Elisha Ruminski and Rebecca Vardaman, two founding members of the chapter, to elaborate on Choose Civility and our second annual Day of Civility.
We have our logo here. Thank you for the privilege of speaking today. My name is Rebecca Vardaman, and I'm on the steering committee with a bunch of others here for the Choose Civility Allegany County. It began in the Howard County Library System when they studied the book Choosing Civility by a professor from Johns Hopkins, P.M. Forney. In a world becoming less civil, the book teaches behaviors like listening carefully, speaking kindly, valuing others' opinions, and taking responsibility. Choose Civility became a grassroots initiative that encourages respect, compassion, empathy, and inclusiveness. Choose Civility spread throughout Maryland and across the nation. Last year, our Allegany County Library joined with people from Frostburg State University, Allegany College, and the Women's Action Coalition to begin Choose Civility in our county. And we were really lucky when the Chamber of Commerce's Leadership Allegany class of 2018 chose us as their project. That was a great boost. With them, we were able to put together a kickoff event last February, followed by our first Day of Civility in April. Many organizations and businesses took part in that day, promoting civility among their employees, their patrons, and the broader public. Book discussions since then are another one of our projects. We've held ones on books that cover such diverse topics as Appalachian culture and racism to understand those issues better, and there are more book discussions planned. In December, we held our Taste of Civility event. It was amazing. We were overwhelmed by the response to it. It included speakers, performers, and an incredible amount of food representing many different cultures. You would not guess how many?
31 nations or states.
Represented in our area here. We are a very diverse community. And we've continued work getting more partners involved, and the list includes businesses like Rehab First, religious groups like Bearheim Jewish Temple, our mayor and city council, the county government, social services, and organizations like the Potomac Valley Athletic Association and Archway Station, which has gotten involved in incredible ways. And we're very thankful for all that, and we thank you for recognizing our second day of civility.
That's right.
Good evening. I'm Elisha Ruminski. I'm a faculty member in communication at Frostburg State University. I also coordinate leadership studies in our Communication Leadership Lab. So FSU is a proud partner of Choose Civility. And I am appreciative also to Leadership Allegany, proud graduate of 2015 myself. Grateful to Jennifer Howe, whose leadership through the Allegany County Library System, and all of the members of the steering committee's efforts, because we wouldn't make this a reality without everyone partnering. And so that's one of the things I think has been an amazing outcome, is to see civility become a real thing through that work together. I would say I'm thinking of doors as a metaphor for life and for civility work. You think about someone's knocking on the door, right? You know the rest, right? What's behind door 3, right? When one door opens, when one door closes, another door opens, right? Doors are an amazing metaphor for civility in that we can't assume the way people are going to enter that door or be concerned about if that door was open for them. For example, if a colleague offers to open a door for you, you know, that's a courteous thing, that's a civil thing. But if a colleague insists on always opening a door and you're a female and they're a male, that's a different thing. And so civility has to be negotiated, right? And so what I like about the work of the civility efforts in this county are that it's diverse. It allows people and partners to come together in ways to negotiate what civility is to each of us so that we can come up collectively with understandings of what it is. And our events will help us do that. We have on April 11th, 3 main events. We have 2 at FSU, an interfaith leadership dialogue that will happen in the morning on campus during one of the citizen leader classes, a deliberation about the national divide that's going on, House divided, using a National Issues Forum Guide process. And then in the evening, we're going to hear Speaker Daniel Buccino, and this is part of a showcase of civility, the keynote experience for the Day of Civility, our 2nd annual Day of Civility at Allegany College of Maryland. He's one of the founding members of the original work that brought forth this effort. So the principles of civility, who we hope will guide us all, and we'll work together to figure out what they are. So thank you. Thank you for this.
Wonderful. Anyone involved in Day of Civility, please come on up. We do have a proclamation. Including you, Councilman.
Everybody over to the center.
Everyone's hesitating to go. Thank you. Thanks very much. Thanks a lot.
Get right over here.
All right. This is an official proclamation that reads, "Where Choose Civility Initiative was started in Allegany County by the Allegany County Library System in 2017. Choose Civility uplifts communities by promoting respect, restraint, and responsibility. The Board of County Commissioners of Allegany County embrace the principles of Choose Civility and is now a partner in this effort. Therefore, we, the Board of County Commissioners, do hereby proclaim April 11th, 2019 as Allegany County Day of Civility and commend this observance for all citizens." And that signed all 3 commissioners, Creed Brody, Dave Caparelli, Jake Shade. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so how do you want us to?
No one wants to stand next to Jake.
Sad but true.
Yeah.
Now, let's go over there. Stay over there.
There we go.
Is that better?
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. No.
All right, item number 2 is Child Abuse Awareness Month. We have Tracy Wilson with Child Protective Services Supervisor, Chrissy Ujic, and Shannon Frankenberry with Jane's Place.
I'm Tracy Wilson. I am the supervisor for Child Protective Services in Allegheny County. And on behalf of the Allegheny County Department of Social Services, Jane's Place, the Child Advocacy Center, the Child Abuse Task Force, and all of our children in Allegheny County, I am honored to be accepting the county's proclamation recognizing April as Child Abuse Prevention Month. In addition to the county's recognition, I would also like to say thanks to the City of Cumberland, City of Frostburg, and the towns of Western Fort Barton and Lonaconing for all displaying their support and commitment to raising the awareness of child abuse. I encourage you all to take notice of many of our local businesses and community partners who will be showing their support by displaying pinwheels, ribbons, and posters beginning next week for the entire month, and then wearing blue on Friday, April the 5th, which has been nationally recognized as Wear Blue Day for child abuse prevention. There will be several pinwheel gardens throughout the county, with the largest being in the front lawn of the Masonic Temple. There, we will be placing 448 pinwheels, with each pinwheel representing one case of child abuse and neglect that was investigated in Allegheny County in 2018. As a community, it is not only our civic duty, but also our moral responsibility to recognize the needs of and promote the safety of the most vulnerable population, our children, those who are the future leaders of our community. When children are supported by encouraging families and a safe and strong community, every child has the chance to reach their full potential. Speaking for the children of our community, I thank you again for this recognition and for your continued support.
Wonderful. Please, come on up.
Odd man out all of a sudden.
I'll say this all day long.
This is an official citation for Child Abuse Awareness Month in Allegheny County. Whereas Jane's Place, Allegheny County Child Advocate Center has a team of professionals who provide free of charge services which help children and their families recover from the devastation of child abuse. The Allegheny County Task Force on Child Abuse and Neglect also serves our community by providing information to our children in partnerships with Allegheny County Public Schools and other education providers. Therefore, we, the Board of County Commissioners, do hereby proclaim April 2019 as Child Abuse Awareness Month in Allegheny County and commend all those involved. That's signed all three commissioners, Creed Brody, Dave Caparelli, Jake Shade. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Get one quick. Moving right along, we have our Allegheny County Commissioners Fellowship Program in its second year. Mr. Butler.
Good evening, Commissioners, and if I can hit the right buttons here. Let's see here. Task force. Sorry about that. So, Commissioners, good evening. We are now approaching a second year of the Allegheny County Commissioners Fellowship Program. That program was started under your leadership last year, and now is in its second year, and will really, I believe, serve as a model for other counties to follow. The fellowship program, as you know, provides an opportunity for youth in this community. It provides a talent pipeline for individuals into good-paying jobs, and yes, despite public opinion, there are good-paying jobs in Allegheny County. And it also is an investment in our future in our communities. Last year, we had two fellowship participants. Samantha Vega was a participant and a student at Allegheny College of Maryland. Commissioner, she included a little blurb, and we'll get you the information there. But she said, being able to be a part of the Commissioner's Fellows gave me a chance to be involved with local government in a way that helped me become a more rounded professional. Having the ability to ask questions about our government and grow as a person is an opportunity I don't think I could have gotten anywhere else. Carter Imes, who you also know as a participant, is a student at Frostburg State, just wrapping up his education at Frostburg State. He said, this program led me to a career path and displayed that how many opportunities that are out there for the taking. I'm truly grateful for the experience I had as working as a Commissioner's Fellows, the connections and networking that I was able to experience are unmatched, and because of this, he now works for Delegate Wendell Beitzel. Without this internship, Carter said, where I am today would not be possible, and I owe a lot of that to Allegheny County's commissioners. So, commissioners, we're launching this again tonight, and it's a presentation because you already established the program last year. Just very quickly, the requirements, these students must be a rising junior or senior in the upcoming summer, or have at least 30 credit hours at Allegheny College of Maryland. They must maintain an overall GPA of 2.7 or above. Be available between May 27th and August 9th of 2019. They receive a $2,000 stipend for their participation in the program. It's an on-the-job training that provides a number of opportunities to interact with our staff as well as you three gentlemen. And they'll be working on a capstone project also for your consideration at the end of their time. And of course, Allegheny County benefits in many occasions, but of course, we're potentially looking for our next great employee. So the application deadline is on April 30th of 2019. And again, commissioners, this couldn't happen without your leadership. So thank you very much.
Great. It's a great program, Brandon, and thank you for spearheading that last year. And I think we've certainly been 2 for 2 with the people that we got last year. So
Yeah.
let's continue that. So that'll be exciting here in the next few weeks. I'm sure we'll be introducing who the new fellows are. All right, moving to our action agenda, we do have a road opening petition. Mr. Rudd, Mr. Butler, who wants to take it?
This is one that's been around for a while. You actually conducted a hearing several months ago on this. This is the one in off of Winchester Road in LaVale. It would be appropriate that you take action. This would be for the opening. Obviously, if the applicants are going to conclude it, they would have to come back and do the petition for the closing. So
We did have a hearing. There was no public comment at that time.
was no public comment at this time.
So at this time, we can make it a motion to open the road. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Moving on, item number 5 is our coal miner memorial statue. Resident Frostburger, Paul Kale.
Did Brandon mess this up, Brandon?
Yeah. It was working before.
So I wrote,
Someone get the intern.
Oh, there we go.
You just need an engineer, I
I
guess.
guess.
He's going to finish
Yes.
the presentation.
Engineer, not a lawyer. Okay.
Sad but true.
I'll
second that.
Since you're my boss, I won't comment.
Yeah, there we go.
So what we're going to do is first is an introduction before I ask what we want to get approved for tonight. At the depot, we have the Great Allegheny Passage, we have the Scenic Railroad, and we have the Thrasher Museum. So we kind of have a number of entities up there that we're getting interest from tourism. And now we have another exciting part we're going to try to add there that maybe will help tourism even more. We have 2 people here today. The first person was Barb Armstrong. I know people in Frostburg know Barb. She's full of energy. She's helped with libraries. She's helped with recreation. She's really helped with anything that needs to be done in Frostburg. Typical when you ask her to do the Pledge of Allegiance, she jumped up. She didn't hesitate. So that's Barb. She volunteers. And then we have Paula Horn with us. She's going to do a presentation, a short PowerPoint to show you what's going on with that. And Barb, do you want to say something first before Paula? Or you gave him some books, I think.
Yep.
You're going to talk about that too, Paula. So
Wonderful.
that being said, I promised Paula I'd get her started, and she's ready to go.
I told him I wouldn't come up here to get started.
Oh, no.
There we go.
Thank you for inviting us and allowing me to talk a little bit about the Coal Miner Memorial Statue Committee. This committee was formed about 7 years ago with the intent at that time just to have a statue, and it has grown exponentially since then, and I want to show you where we are today. It's not working. Oh, not up and down? Okay, okay. So this is the train depot in Frostburg, and you can't see the cursor there, okay. Right about the end where the train is there, about a couple hundred yards past that to the north is where we plan to put our memorial for the coal miners. It's located a few hundred feet just north of the depot between the Allegany Highlands Trail and the C&P Railroad tracks. That'll be an attraction for both the bikers and the train riders, and it's just one more piece of the tourism puzzle. The C&P Railroad also connected all the towns from Mount Savage down to Piedmont and all the coal mining towns, so it's nice to have it along that also. Bear with me here. Okay, this is the entrance to our projected landscaping design. You can see the mountains in the background, and people, when they come to that overlook, the visitors can see where the coal mines actually were located and where the men worked. They can see the topography of the area. The area there will be, they'll have interpretive signage that'll be education. We're all about the education. We want to educate the people that are coming into our area, the people that already live here, because coal mining is a thing that's kind of passé, and we don't want to lose our heritage. So there will be interpretive signs here and all along the path. You'll cross over the bike path and go up under the, walking under beams, which are supposed to be interpretive of the beams in a coal mine. And I'm sorry that I don't have a pointer, but where the man is standing, there's a wall behind him. And that wall is going to be made of marine grade PVC. It's impervious to weather, and it should last about 100 years. And on that wall, we want to have a square about so big, and each square will contain the name of a man, and not just the name. We don't want a wall with just the names on it. We want people to know about these miners. So we have so far about 650 miners who died in the coal mines in the Georges Creek Valley.
Wow.
While they were working. So those names will be on that wall, along with their age, where they're from, the mine in which they died, the date they died, also the number of dependents. We want people to realize what our heritage is, and these miners, some of them had 12 and 14 kids, and they left the women without any means of support. Let's see, the wall also has the earliest miner that we have on our list died in 1838, and it goes all the way to the last two who died in 2007. Our youngest coal miner was 9 years old. Our oldest coal miner is 76. And you can see the statue there. That's the coal mining statue. And you notice that he's holding a book in his hand and an apple in the other hand. We want to emphasize the importance of education, and that's why he's holding the book. We had a coal miner whose name was John Leake. And in 1898, well, he was elected as a delegate to the Maryland General Assembly, and he sponsored a bill in 1898 proposing the establishment of State Normal School Number 2. The bill failed the first time around because they said that they didn't have land to put the building on, to put the school on. So John Leake went back to Frostburg and the Georges Creek area, and he asked the coal miners to give what they could. Some of them gave 10 cents, some gave 25 cents. But when you had a family of 12 to 14 and you were taking home $10 a week, 10 or 25 cents was a lot of money for those miners. And I know somebody here said that they went to Frostburg State University. Well, where Old Main was, that was erected as State Normal School number 2. So if you went to school at Frostburg State, or if you have a child or somebody in your family, thank a coal miner. It wouldn't be there if it wasn't for the coal miners. John Leake was able to collect $2,406 to buy the property where Old Main now stands. These are just some other views. You can see the overlook, the little triangle area up on the top at the right-hand side, and you would cross over the bike path, go past the wall and the coal miner, and then curve your way out to the end there. That's another view. And this is the exit, and that also has the timbers across it to replicate what a coal mine might look like. It also has a decline, and we're hoping that at some point that we can have a metal sculpture cutouts placed along that wall to look like coal miners at work. And as the wall gets shallower, we had coal mines that were in the big vein that were 12 feet high, and some that were in small veins that were only 2 feet high. And that's where they would send these kids into the mines that were only 2 feet high. And they were hard to timber, and they would cave in. So we want to have even the kids laying down with their picks, to look like they're in a mine like that. Also, if somebody would hold up a book, we have also compiled stories on these coal miners, how they died, how they lived, and there are about 640 names in the back of there, and the first 100 stories that we've done for the Frostburg Express are in that book. And it tells about the life of the coal miners. We've asked for donations of $20 for the books, and so far we've been able to get rid of 600 of them. We're just about sold out, and we will be publishing another one this summer, volume number 2, that will contain the next 100 stories of coal miners. Thank you.
I assume there's $100 right there, right?
That's right, yeah.
This is signature.
I failed to mention too that last year, the county executed an agreement with Get Out and Play. So the depot, we have a presence up there now. There's a little store, and they've agreed to work with the minor memorial people to put some displays in that as we move forward. So what we're asking tonight is that, you guys good? Anything else? Or? No. Okay. What we're asking tonight, and the beauty of this is that they have raised, the Frostburg Foundation has raised $75,000 on their own. And what we're asking tonight is to the county to execute an agreement, a capital grants agreement with the state of Maryland, who provide a matching $75,000. We are the beneficiary of it because it's on county property, but the grantee would be the Frostburg Foundation. So the Frostburg Foundation has provided $75,000, the state's provided $75,000 at this point in time. We've met with this group, I think, 2 or 3 times, Bruce Smith and I, and that's the only involvement we've really had in it. So it's kudos to the volunteer group who did all the work. So we're asking that the county approve that agreement and allow the president of the county commissioners to sign the documents.
Absolutely. What a great project. And raising $75,000 is not easy, so I commend both of you and everyone else involved, because I know that the time and effort that goes into that. So thank you.
I forgot to mention that the statue is finished and paid for. It's just in Ohio waiting for its new home.
Great. I think Paul has a truck. He might be able to. All right. With that, is there a motion to accept the grant agreement?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, because there's going to be, I wish I had about an hour to go on tonight about this, because Delegate Leak was actually a relative of mine. The house I was born in is where he lived. One of the miners on the wall that'll be listed was a very close relative of mine. My grandfather and great-grandfather was both retired miners. Dad started off life as a surface miner, same as I did. So this really hits home, and since there's still a 9 billion ton reserve of coal in the Georges Creek Valley, with a little bit of luck, we'll keep mining there, because my brother was down at New River Gorge last year. There's a big plaque to Georges Creek Valley down there of how Consolidated Coal got its start in Georges Creek, and there's nothing in our valley to represent that. And without that valley, there would be nothing in this county, period. So I am very glad to see this project move forward. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Great. Moving to our consent agenda. Mr. Butler.
Again, good evening, Commissioners. Item number 6 is the Emergency Responder Reply System subscription agreement. Item number 7 is a surplus real property bid awards. Item number 8 is a declaration of surplus property. Item number 9 is the Drug-Free Communities Program. Item number 10 is a Governor's Office of Crime Control and Prevention grant acceptance. Item number 11 is a reappointment of Steve McRae to the Allegany County Planning Commission. Item number 12 is the Local Development Council for Allegany County appointments. And item number 13, Commissioners, as you know, in the code, there is a requirement, or there is in the public local law, the Allegany County Commission on Women. That commission does not exist as the requirements of law currently state. So what we're asking tonight is for a motion of the Board of County Commissioners to reconstitute the Allegany County Commission for Women and to appoint the following members of that commission: Sharon Logston, Yvonne Perrette, Danielle Lassard, Sarah Parsons, and Jody Oliver. Commissioners, then next meeting, in accordance with the public local law, you all will be appointing 5 more members of that commission. And per the statute, because of the commission essentially has lapsed, if you will, those 10 members, the 5 that are appointed tonight and the 5 that are appointed to the following meeting, those 10 members will select another 5 to be approved for a total of 15 members. But tonight is the first step in that process.
Great. Could you read the Local Development Council into the record, too?
Yes, sir.
If you have it.
Give me one quick second. The Local Development Council members are as follows: Steve Hout, Brian Miller, Dottie Roby, and Sam Wilson. They will be reappointed for a 4-year term ending in March of 2023. The following members will be serve newly appointed: Autumn Urich, let's see, Jenny Alderton Cramph, Bob Mallow, and Corey McCaa. And the following individuals will be, I believe that was it of the email.
Just those 8?
Just those 8, so.
All right. Any discussion?
No, sir. I'll make a motion we accept the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Butler?
Thank you,
Commissioners,
ladies.
I have nothing.
Mr. Rudd?
I have nothing.
Oh. Commissioner Caparelli?
I was just going to thank the ladies for their participation in the reconstruction of the Women's Commission.
Great.
Thank you
Mr.
all.
Brody?
Same way. Thank you very much. We really appreciate that. And second of all, I hope next year, if we have a Child Abuse Month for awareness, that there's no pinwheels
Absolutely.
in the lawn over there, because that is absolutely, during our budget hearings 2 weeks ago, when we had to sit and listen to some of these stories, it still bothers me that what people will do to a child. So anyone, and I'll make this public announcement, anyone that ever has any question about that and can't get a hold of anyone, call 911 right away, because that is absolutely ludicrous what some of these people put a child through.
Absolutely.
And something to work towards in
Yes.
the upcoming year, all of us.
We continued our budget session today. It was our second one with our outside funding agencies. And I think the new request totaled over $2 million of new money. So over the next few weeks, we're going to be reviewing those very closely and trying to put together a budget that's realistic. And you know, what I always say is, if anyone in the public had to sit here and make the same decisions, that they'd come to the same decisions that we try to make. And no one's ever going to be happy with it, but it's a process. Sometimes it takes a few years to get things funded, and it's really about trying to put all these priorities into place. So that's kind of what's going to be dominating our time and our efforts for the next couple of weeks and months, and hopefully that'll be heading towards passage the beginning of June. Okay. With that, we have one person signed up to speak, Mr. Edward Taylor.
Commissioners, for the record, my name, excuse me, is Edward Taylor, Jr., President of the Cumberland Historic Cemetery Organization. And as I had the great privilege to speak to you folks this afternoon, I was here with about 2 rows of our members, which it wasn't appropriate to introduce them at the hearing. But I have some folks with me tonight. Mr. James I. Lee, Ken Winters has come along with us, Larry and Judy Haynes, and Dennis Bittinger. Larry Haynes is one of our board members and has been for about 4 or 5 years. I wanted to, I guess, preempt with the commissioners what was done to our organization at the Mayor and City Council meeting about a week or so ago by Mr. Jeffrey Davis, who's not even a citizen of Allegany County. Dr. Davis, I think the only thing he's well known for is attempting 4 separate times to remove our 10 Commandment monument since 2004 in front of the Allegany County Circuit Courthouse on Washington Street. Our organization has been the only entity to ever fight Dr. Davis on this issue. We also have put Cumberland, Maryland on the United States map as the only county in United States history to be able to save our 10 Commandment monument. Whenever this has come up in any county, and there's over 3,000 of them in the United States, they've lost. We are the only county in this nation's history to be able to keep our 10 Commandment monument right where it is, and that's due to the loyalty of the county commissioners in favor of keeping that monument. And that is one of the main special interests of the Cumberland Historic Cemetery Organization. Because as Mr. Rudd would probably agree, being an attorney, our entire judicial system is built upon the precepts of what our founding fathers started under the Bill of Rights, Declaration of Independence, and the United States Constitution, and it's all based on God's holy 10 Commandments. This man, back to Dr. Davis, as I said, has tried 4 separate times, including, I believe, in 2016 with a lawsuit against you folks, which he apparently dropped, which is a good thing, to remove that. Since he isn't able to do that, he goes up against the Cumberland Historic Cemetery Organization because we honor all Americans, the 243-year history of our nation, back to the American Revolutionary War, Union and Confederate soldiers. A couple of points quickly of historic interest. Since 1991, which that was the year we built our first monument to any Civil War veteran, and that year we built Maryland's first monument of its kind to 6 Black Union Civil War soldiers. I think I went over that earlier today in the hearing. That was a one of its kind in the state of Maryland, and that is the site every year for the past 29 years where we hold our annual Memorial Day event. Since that date, we've erected both Union and Confederate monuments, and I do want to say not one of those Confederates that we've ever put a monument up to ever in their life owned a slave. However, Major Alexander Shaw of the Union Army, Potomac Home Brigade, and by the way, he owned a lot of the coal mines up through the creek, which we heard about in that wonderful presentation earlier. Unfortunately, Major Alexander Shaw, buried at the Hudson Cemetery in Rollins, he owned several slaves, and he was a Union major. A lot of history on that war since the 1960s has been very misconstrued in our public education system. Basically, the amount of history that the students are taught on that war is north is good, south is bad. That is absolutely untrue. It was not fought over racism. We're putting a monument up in August in Sumner Cemetery, Allegheny County's first all-black cemetery, to a freed slave, Miss Critty Powell. She came from Pennsylvania. She was owned by a northern slaveholder. The Emancipation Proclamation only freed the slaves in the South, not the ones in the North. All slaves in the United States came through the port of New York City. And I'm sure everybody in this room over the years, you've heard where they're digging up a street in New York City or they're putting in some kind of construction and they have to bring it to a halt because they find the graves of thousands of African American slaves. They were all brought in, all under the United States flag, unfortunately. There was never a Confederate flag that ever flew on a slave ship. Yes, there were slaves in the South, and there were some bad slave masters. My family is from Mineral County, West Virginia. That's why there's so many Taylors over there. My American Revolutionary War 8th generation great-grandfather is buried there. In 1838, his grandson signed a proclamation, and it's still at the Kaiser Courthouse, setting all the Taylor slaves free. Do you realize that the Taylors had slaves in 1905 because they couldn't get them to leave? And they told them if they wanted to stay, they could. They would not leave the property. So we need to examine history for what it is and not just go on a thimbleful. And I think over the years that the Cumberland Historic Cemetery Organization, 36 years, we have proven our case to this community. We have erected several $1 million worth of monuments to great Americans that span our almost 250-year history. And we don't have any white supremacist agenda, as Dr. Davis has stated. And I will add this, my attorney in Hagerstown is watching Dr. Davis very closely because he is skating ice thin on a slander suit. And believe me, it'll be filed in a heartbeat if he continues. I'm predicting he'll probably come here and give you guys the same load of crap that he gave the Cumberland Mayor and Council. And you know, if somebody's going to come here from another county that doesn't even pay taxes in this place and start accusing of people, he needs proof. We have proof of what he says, or what we say. Does Dr. Davis? And the answer is no. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Taylor. We have a public work session, budget workshop, Thursday, April 11th at 3 p.m. That'll be up here in room 220. Our next public business meeting is that night, April 11th, 5 p.m. in this room. Thank you.